Hello, everybody. Welcome and thank you for taking time to join us. The TRCM is pleased to be able to offer this webinar series, and we certainly hope that you enjoy the next hour and bit of learning. The TEI webinar series is hosted by the Treaty Relations Commission of Manitoba, and today's webinar, using Let's Talk Treaty in the Classroom, will be presented by me, Connie Wyatt Anderson, Treaty Education Initiative Facilitation Lead. Let's begin. In this webinar, we will provide a backgrounder to the Let's Talk Treaty radio program. We will recap one particular radio segment. We're going to look at methods and ways of using the theme from that Let's Talk Treaty program as a teaching tool in our classrooms. And we are going to explore other things that the Treaty Education Initiative offers us. So we can take the theme and we're going to explore how we can use it in our classroom, the materials from the Treaty Education Initiative. Before we go any further, I just want to tell you a little bit about the Let's Talk Treaty radio spot. It's a 15-minute bi-weekly radio series found on NCI FM, and it's aimed at gaining a deeper understanding of the Manitoba treaties. The show features Treaty Commissioner Loretta Ross, who welcomes special guests in order to engage in insightful and thought-provoking discussions on treaties and the treaty relationship. The radio spots are recorded live, bi-weekly, I told you, on NCI Radio, but you can also access them on our website. The recorded radio shows can be accessed at www.trcm.ca multimedia Let's Talk Treaty. If you go to our website, once you get there, you can actually go to the top, www.trcm.ca, and click on multimedia, and you'll find them. And they're updated regularly. Our goal today is to take one of these radio episodes and tie it in with some of the learning materials from the Treaty Education Initiative. So before we get into that, I thought I'd spend a bit of a time explaining what the Treaty Education Initiative is. The Treaty Education Initiative is a kindergarten to grade 12 public education strategy aimed at increasing the knowledge and understanding of treaties and the treaty relationship in Manitoba. How do we do that? How do we support teachers to teach about treaties and the treaty relationship? Well, the initiative itself offers a guide, a curated and created list of pedagogical materials to help you teach about treaties. What does that include? Well, it includes the picture you see in the top left. There are 13 teachers' resource guides, kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, all the way to grade 12. Each of these have a minimum of 8 lesson plans, and they are curriculum linked to Manitoba curriculum, mostly through the social studies, but there are opportunities to link to other curricula. So these are ways that you can teach about treaties. They are supported and they are part of something called the TEI kit, the Treaty Education Initiative kit. And what you have in the kit, it's a literal kit. You can see it laid out on the table on the left there, the image. And what is in that kit? A wealth of teaching and learning materials. There are textual materials, there are manipulatives, there are video, audio, posters to support treaty education implementation in your classroom. So what you and I are going to do today is we are going to use a Let's Talk Treaty episode as an entry point to exploring some of our resources that fit thematically with that episode. So what are we going to look at today? We're going to hear a really super interesting talk facilitated by Commissioner Loretta Ross and Elder Peter Atkinson. This is episode 5 in our Let's Talk Treaty series on NCI, and it focuses on clans and governance. Clans and governance. So let's listen and learn for the next few minutes.
This is Loretta Ross, Treaty Commissioner of the Manitoba Treaty Relations Commission. I want to welcome everyone back to our radio show, Let's Talk Treaty. As mentioned in previous episodes, the radio show falls within our education mandate of the Treaty Relations Commission, and we hope that our audience is enjoying the show so far and the different topics that we have presented. Last week, I wanted to provide a brief overview of what we did the last couple of shows. We did touch on the Selkirk Treaty, and an interesting part of the Peguis and Selkirk Treaty was the markings that are on the treaty itself. And I know certainly on our website we've had a number of inquiries with regard to the Selkirk Treaty and the markings. Maureen Matthews and Elder Bone spoke about those markings, and that often people think that they relate to the clan system. And we did get a lot of further inquiries about the clan system, and so we thought that we would spend a show, at least one show, if not two, talking about the clan system. The clan system for most Indigenous cultures, and certainly for the Anishinaabe people, was traditionally a form of governance. Now, every clan had their own roles and purpose that related to the greater good of the community. And oftentimes we are afraid of the clan systems in large part because we don't understand what the clan system's really all about. And so we've asked Elder Peter Atkinson to come in and join us today so that he can provide a better understanding about the clan system and their significance in our culture. So I'm going to turn it over to Elder Atkinson. And Elder Atkinson, for those that maybe are not familiar with him, Elder Atkinson is from Roseau River, and he serves as one of our Speakers Bureau member at the Treaty Relations Commission. And again, he is available to go out. You can contact him through our office if after the show you want to hear more about the clan system. And you're certainly welcome to contact him on his own time. He's not just tied to the commission, but he does lend support and his wisdom to us, which we truly appreciate. Elder Atkinson, I want to welcome you to our show, and I want to provide you with, as I mentioned, an opportunity to share about the clan system and really what their importance is. I think that, and you may agree, they're not given the significance that they deserve. A lot of people have forgotten about them, and I think there's different maybe misconceptions about the clan system. So can I turn it over to you and maybe ask you to describe a little bit more about the clan systems?
Bonjour, the Basan Kodintishnikas, Mekinakandude, Newing Yangi Mide, and Maingan Makate Maingan Yangi Shoinamika. That's my name is Low Cloud. I'm from the Turtle Clan. I'm fourth level in the Medevan Lodge, and the Black Wolf is my spirit guide. So that's how we introduce ourselves in our way, and we introduce ourselves in the way we want to be known, and that's so. The original clan system, there was 7 original clans, and the first leadership clans were the Crane and the Loon. They didn't have no sub clans. The Fish, the Bear, the Bird, Martin, and the Hoof clans, they all had sub-clans, and so every clan had a purpose. Every clan had a society of some sort. Like for instance, the Bear clan had a Justice Society, and that's where the laws were made, and the lodge itself was a place where the laws were introduced into the clans. People shouldn't be afraid of the clan system because that's our original clans in the form of governance. We used to be in the hereditary system where it became, but that system became an ego-based system, where people would put feathers in their hair and their hats and that, and we forgot all our teachings, and we forgot all our ceremonies and that system. Hereditary system is where if I was a leader, my son or my daughter would become leader after me. That's a hereditary system, but that like I said was very ego-based, and we lost a lot of our ceremonies and that, and And so the clans are from the second level above the earth. When the Creator saw how bad off we were, wherever we tripped, that's where we would die, and that's how weak we were. And so He instructed the animals and the birds and the fish and that to help us out in organizing the clan system. Now each clan came forward and made a vow to us, and I remember the Loon clan came and made a vow to us and said, "Gawin nika go nenimasi Anishinaabe." That means I will never forget the Anishinaabe. And he'll forever know that I'm there, and we hear him all the time, right? And so he's holding true to his vow to us, and the Crane clan also made a vow to us, and I don't remember that one, but each clan made a vow to us, and they made a promise to do what. Share their gifts and their abilities with us, and for the better governance of our people and that. So there's the clan mothers are the first law of the land, and you women don't realize how much power you have. You have so much power, and you have the decision making. You selected the leaders in each clan, and your respective clans. You selected the leaders, and it would be man or woman. It doesn't matter, one or two. If two people work well together, then they would become leaders. But the thing is with that, the leadership have to talk about the desires of the clan. If you waver from that, if you go away from that and speak your own mind and that, you wouldn't be a leader very long. They would kick you out of there, and they put somebody in place that'll speak on the desire of the clan. So,
Elder Atkinson, you had mentioned that there are 7 basic clans, right? And then there's some sub-clans beneath, I guess, 5 of those. Indigenous people, First Nations people are now going back and learning, I guess, about the clan system and wanting to understand it. So how do you find out what clan you belong to?
Okay, there's a process in there whereby you give somebody tobacco, an elder that could retrieve that information, because that's one of the 4 gifts that you receive before you come here. On your spirit, as a spirit, you receive 4 gifts. Your first gift is your spirit name, not your Indian name, your spirit name, and your second gift is your clan, and your third gift is your way of life. And but the Creator didn't say, "I want you to follow it." He gave you the 4th and final gift of free will to decide that for yourself. So it's a beautiful gift. And so in the spirit realm, then you have your clan, and because you follow your dad's clan, your father's clan, you follow that, and that's the makeup of the clan system. You follow the father's clan and your mother. Like my mother's clan was a rattlesnake, and she was off to the side. But anybody that's of her clan is my auntie or my uncle, so we're related in many ways. And I want to point out too that it was the clans that signed the treaties. Clans that signed the treaties in 1871. It was the clan mothers that saw that the treaty, 3 main articles of treaty were health and education and shelter. They felt that it was a good deal because it was the Queen that said that they would pay for these things. We didn't ask them. They said they would pay for these things, and they saw that it was a good deal. So they instructed the clan leaders to sign that document. So that was in 1871, August 3rd, 1871. And clearly the strength was on our side of owning the land, clearly. And 5 years later, in 1876, Canada legislated the Indian Act and imposed that on us. And that's where you get this idea that they would give us 160 acres per family of 5. Well, where did they get the right to do that? Where did they get the right? They never got the right. And the treaties are legally binding because of consultation and consent. That's what makes them legally binding. It's not Canadian law or any other kind of law. It's consultation and consent that makes them legally binding. And so way off your question. And so that's how everybody has a clan. Whoever your clan your father was, that's the clan you go under. So usually we say, look around in the community first. First, look around in the community before you come to an elder. Look around in the community, do some research, see who your relatives are and what clan they are in on that. And if your father or your auntie is of a certain clan, then they must be your clan. So it's do a little bit of research on your own and find out through there what relatives have and what kind of clans they have, and so.
Okay, Elder Atkinson, I want to thank you for coming, and it fits nicely into our show because we did talk about, as I mentioned, the clans in the Selkirk Treaty, and when you talk about the clan system, part of it is also we have to go back again to the creation story and then how the clan system ties into the treaty process. And you started to talk about that. Unfortunately, we don't have the time to do it, so we want to welcome you back to another show, and maybe we can spend some more time talking about the creation story and tying that into the clan system, and then moving forward again to the treaty making process. So for our listeners, we want to also direct you to our Facebook, our website, where we will have this show on it, and then we will also have the follow-up show again with Elder Atkinson. Please follow us on social media. Visit our TRCM website at www.trcm.ca, and remind you to tune in to our next show, where we will continue to talk about the clan system and how they relate to the treaties. So with that, miigwech, and let's talk treaty.
Hi again, everybody. That was a really interesting talk between Commissioner Loretta Ross and Elder Peter Atkinson. And we learned a lot on the clan system. This was part 1 of, I believe, 3 talks. So if you're interested in pursuing this talk further, please visit our website at www.trcm.ca and listen to Elder Atkinson continue his teachings. Let's take a look at some of the main themes coming out of this episode of Let's Talk Treaty. Let's condense what we heard Commissioner Ross and Elder Atkinson discuss. We learned that the clan system was the traditional form of governance. There are 7 original Anishinaabe clans: the Crane, Loon, Fish, Bear, Bird, Martin, and Hoof. The Crane and Loon were leadership clans. The clan system was created by the Creator. Each clan made a vow to the people. Every clan had a purpose, we learned. Purpose might be justice. The clan system was hereditary. Clan mothers were the decision makers and selected the leaders. Clan leaders sought guidance from the clan as a whole. So there's a real egalitarian nature to this, an input from everybody, men, women, the entire community. Anishinaabe, you belong to your father's clan. Your mother's clan was also part of your family. Her relatives were your auntie and uncles, we learned. And we also learned that clans signed Treaty Number 1. At the beginning of the talk, we heard quite a bit about the Selkirk Treaty of 1817. And by the way, there's a wonderful episode on Let's Talk Treaty with Elder Bone and Maureen Matthews and Commissioner Ross about the Selkirk Treaty. Selkirk Treaty was signed between Lord Selkirk, a shareholder of the Hudson Bay Company, in 1817, when he brought several groups of Scottish displaced farmers to live in what we now call southern Manitoba. And the treaty was offered by the people of Peguis, and you can see it here. Here's a sketch. Isn't that fascinating? Earl of Selkirk, I'm reading the bottom right-hand corner. Peguis and other Indians. I'm reading the corner there, and it says July 18th, 1817. But the cool thing is, look at, you can see sort of in the middle, midway down, signed in the presence of, and you can see different names there. But can you see the clan markings? Isn't that fascinating? Where the red one is, you can see the clan markings. So you heard Elder Atkinson and Commissioner Ross talk quite a bit about the Selkirk Treaty as physical evidence, you know. So let's take a look then. Our goal today was to take a look at the theme, and the theme today is clans and governance, and apply it to some of the lesson plans from the Treaty Education Initiative Teachers Resource Guides. So what you and I are going to do today is just tip our toe into 3 lesson plans. We are going to look at one from the grade 5 document. We are going to look at one from the grade 6 document, and we're going to look at one from the grade 8 document. All our Treaty Education Initiatives resource guides, I told you, have about a bare minimum of 8 lesson plans, and they are laid out in typical lesson plan format. The first part of the lesson typically offers you, the teacher, a backgrounder. Just an overview of what the concept is, a background to the concept, and then it offers you a typical delivery trajectory for a lesson plan, right? We start with an activating activity, an acquiring activity, and applying activity. Oftentimes you'll also see that our lesson plans are fortified with blackline masters. So let's take a look. You'll see on the little strip there where the bullet is, it says the clan system was the traditional form of governance. So this was one of the things that we learned from Elder Atkinson today. So this lesson is from the grade 5 document. Grade 5 is called Grade 5, the First Nations in Manitoba. And this lesson plan is called Traditional Governments and First Nations Perspectives on Sovereignty. So this is grade 5. This is a grade 5 lesson, and as I said, it starts off like all of our lesson plans. It starts off with some good backgrounders, the concepts of traditional First Nations governance. What you see in front of you is the actual engagement process: activate, acquire, apply. What I'm reading here to my left on page 25 from the document is a bit of the backgrounder. Okay? Although there are 5 different First Nations peoples linguistic groups in Manitoba, there are commonalities regarding beliefs and values and the basic features of traditional governments. And I'll read some of the bullet points to you here. A connection to land. Okay? A spiritual connection to the Creator through natural laws. A common belief that sovereignty is an inherent right. A consensus model. Okay? A consensus model, egalitarian model, system of decision making. Leadership was traditionally based on a person's skills. Entire families played a role in governance. Women, elders. Natural laws provided First Peoples a framework for self-government. And a distinguishing feature is the language itself. So what do you do in this lesson? You'd have kids explore this. What does First Nations traditional governance look like? So you would have to set this up. You can see in the activating, do what you want. I mean, do a brainstorming session, whatever you want, jigsaw activity. When the kids start to dive deeper, you're going to acquire, you're going to gain new information. There's different things you can do. You can have the students look at the information sheet. You can have them summarize the information sheet I just read you. You can also go onto our website at trcm.ca. We have videos produced in conjunction with CTV, and there are elders talking about traditional governance. Or you can use one of our publications that's found in the Treaty Kit, First Nations Teaching and Practices. So how you have the kids explore this topic is entirely up to you, right? If you take a look here, these are some of the things that are suggested. What did I say? You could use the backgrounder. I just read a piece to you. See the book there on your left? First Nations teaching and practices from our friends at the Manitoba First Nations Education Resource Center. There is a wonderful chapter, you can see it in front of you, chapter 3 on clans and kinship. You can see the sketch to your left. I mean, have the kids do that. If you'd like to take it a step further or enter using a different method of acquiring knowledge, you can explore our video gallery. You can see that in front of you. And you can see Elder Elma Kershane talking about sharing the land. These are really neat videos for several reasons. They're concise, they're engaging, and they're short. When the kids are done exploring this, there are quite a few Blackline Masters attached to this lesson plan. Use them as you will. What I know about First Nations traditional governments. A pre-brainstorm almost, eh? What I learned. It's a bit of a KWL, eh? Sources of information, sources of information. There's another worksheet on the right. You can see what are three key features of First Nations peoples' traditional governments. Write a paragraph on sovereignty. And we chatted a bit about that. So that's one of the lessons, and forgive me, I'll backtrack there a bit, from the grade 5. Our goal today, I told you, was to explore an episode, which we did. Elder Peter Atkinson, Commissioner Ross, talking about clans and governance. And I told you we're going to look at a grade 5 a learning activity, a grade 6, and a grade 8. So here's the grade 6. Here's our guiding piece from the episode we just explored together. The clan system was created by the Creator. Each clan made a vow to the people. So this actually comes from the grade 6 document. The grade 6 document is called the Treaty Relationship. You can see the lesson plan on the left. It's topic 1.1, Concepts of Identity and Citizenship. Concepts of identity. So this is a bit of the backgrounder. I just want to draw you to one piece of it because it aligns succinctly with what we're discussing today. Historically, First Nations peoples identified themselves as members of the original clans within nations. Clans are similar to families of people. For the Anishinaabe peoples, the Creator gave them the clan system. Each clan was given a leadership responsibility as part of the Creator's plan for good governance. Today, some Anishinaabe people have retained this traditional knowledge of who they are. So you're having the kids explore this, okay? And what you're really, the entry point for this is looking at identity. Okay, see the activating question on the left. What shapes the identity of an individual? What makes you who you are? Is it your family? Is it your clan? Is it your beliefs? Eh? And what you do once you kind of flesh this out, you bring it personally to kids, right? And then you build off, explore the clan system. And then you actually, this is grade 6 now, you jump a bit further. What happens with policy, government laws here in Canada? How does that affect who you are? So think about the clan system. Now let's think a little bit about things like the Indian Act. How did that affect the individual? Can you see on the next one now? The impact of that policy. You could pick another policy. The Indian Act is a relatively simple one. You could pick Bill C-31, and the lesson offers you some ideas. It's entirely up to you. Okay? How does that policy affect your family? How does that policy affect your community? The Indian Act particularly had large ramifications on things like egalitarianism and the clan system. Imposed really a democracy. That's grade 6, friends. So we looked at grade 5. We looked at grade 6. This comes from the grade 8 document. Grade 8, you can see the title in front of you here, First Nations Societies. And this is a cool document. You look at the students explore First Nations cultures all over the world. If you look on your left, the title of this is All My Relations. And let's look again at the entry point here based on what Elder Atkinson taught us. Anishinaabe belonged to their father's clan. Your mother's clan was also part of your family. Her relatives were your aunties and uncles. So what this lesson does, it actually looks at family. You start off the lesson, you can start this with, so you can see a black line master that is an admit slip here. Have the kids just do a bit of a free write. How do you define family? And if I was in class right now, I would leave that pretty darn open-ended. How do you define family? Does it have to be your blood sister? Does it have to be your biological father? I don't know. Do you include your mom's second cousin? Let the kids define family on their own. Maybe it's your best friend, who you happen to call auntie. Write down the members of your family. So there's no right and there's no wrong here. You are defining family, right? So you start off with an admit slip. When you're finished that, what you do now is you move into the second part of the lesson. We start with the activator. You can see the admit slip. What you see is actually the end part, the exit. But let's talk about the middle now, where the kids are acquiring knowledge. And I'm looking at the lesson plan in front of me. The background information sheet is on page 19 of the grade 8 Teacher's Resource Guide. I'm going to read a little bit to you. Family's always been an integral part of First Nations people societies. The family institution is a place to share acceptance and security and learn cooperation. Traditional teachings about family extend to a deeper understanding that we are all part of a greater family of creation. These teachings are part of the value of reciprocity and respect, which are important to maintaining a balanced and harmonious relationship. Among each First Nations people, there is a system that recognizes family relations and kinship relatives from the mother's and father's side. One example of a formalized system is the clan system. So you spend some time now and have the kids uncover this. As an exit slip now, they started with the admit, they started with the exit. How do First Nations define family? I'd like to learn more, etc. Another thing I want to share with you, our goal today again was to look at least 3 of our lesson plans. Again, we looked at a grade 5, a grade 6, and a grade 8. And I want to share with you, I think is an absolute treasure of a book, and it's called Treaty Essential Learnings, The Treaty Experience in Manitoba. You'll find this book in the Treaty Education Kit. This really is a Cole's Notes of treaties. It's not a particularly thick book, but it is rich with information for you as an educator. Again, use it as a source for yourself or use it for your students. But I thought I'd share with you just 2 easy little clips I got out of Treaty Essential Learnings regarding clans and governance. This comes from page 60, you can see. It talks about clans and kinship. Treaty Essential Learning is very simple to read and uber informative. Among each of the First Nations peoples, there is a system that recognizes family relations, and you can see it. Okay? Here's another one. Page 64, culture. The term culture is an inclusive term because it takes into account a group's linguistic, and it goes on. And it talks more and more and more. Look at the last paragraph there. The First Nations cultural design is a plan in which their societies adapted to their physical and social environment. The physical environment includes food production, technological knowledge and skill. The social environment includes political and family systems, such as the clan system. On behalf of the Treaty Relations Commission of Manitoba and the Treaty Education team, I'd like